All right, all right. We're making our way through the CIAA. We're pretty much wrapping this thing up. We're on Virginia State today. Probably at some point this weekend or maybe on Monday of next week, we'll do Winston-Salem State, and that will close out the entire conference. Quick recap. The predictions so far are that Bluefield State will go 3-7, 1-6 in the CIAA. Bowie State will go 8-2, 7-1 in the CIAA. Elizabeth City State will go 4-6, 3-5 in the CIAA. Fayetteville State will be 6-4, 4-3 in the CIAA. Johnson C. Smith will be 8-2, 7-1 in the CIAA. Lincoln University will not win a game. They will go over for the entire season. Livingstone will go 4-6, 2-5 in the CIAA. Shaw will be 3-7, 2-5 in the CIAA. Virginia Union will be 8-2, 6-2 in the CIAA. And now let's talk about Virginia State. So, for the past few years, I've been pretty high on Virginia State when mostly nobody else was. For the past 2 years, at certain points in the season, I thought Virginia State was a championship contender, perhaps a team that could make the playoffs and maybe even make some noise. I was really high on Virginia State at certain points over the past few years. Now, obviously, last year they did make it to the championship game, and they wound up coming up short. But going into this year, just being honest with a lot of the players that Virginia State has lost, in my personal opinion, Virginia State's window is closed. They had some years in there where they had some solid quarterback play. They were deep at running back. They had talent. They had opportunities. But like I said, I believe that Virginia State's window for championships right now is closed. I'm not high on Virginia State this year. This year, and we're going to get into it when we look at the schedule, but this year I think Virginia State is a 500 football team. That's just my opinion on it. This year, I think Virginia State is a 500 football team. What hurts them, I think, is schedule in terms of who they play and where they play them. Like if you look at Bowie State's schedule last year, hey, we went to Lenoir-Rhyne, we went to Fayetteville State, we went to Winston-Salem State, we went to Virginia State for their homecoming. Now this year is reversed. We host Winston-Salem State. We host Fayetteville State. Like, we host Virginia State. So who you play and where you play them and when, at what point in time in the season that you play them is important. And if you just look at Virginia State's schedule, which I'm about to pull up right now, in addition to their actual roster, I think it's going to be a tough year for Virginia State. So let's pull up their schedule. Like I think when it comes to Virginia State, things get dark, and they get dark early. All right, so let's pull this up right here. Let me make this adjustment really quick. There we go. There we go. All right, so we're looking at the schedule. They start off at Barton. Barton's not very good in football. From what I understand, Barton has a very good basketball reputation, but not very good in football. Virginia State is going to win this game on the road versus Barton. Then they're going to Norfolk State to play the mighty Michael Vick's. And man, oh man, what they got in. I'm going to be real with you. The amount of buzz and energy that's surrounding Norfolk State right now, it's going to be tough. This game could get out of hand, and it could get out of hand rather quickly. So I'm taking Norfolk State to win at home versus Virginia State. That's going to drop Virginia State to 1-1. Right? Then right after that, they're going to Winston-Salem State. Mind you, WSSU has a good amount of expectations on them this year. Their quarterback is a 3-year starter. There's pressure on the head coach to win. They went 7-3 last year. And they think that they're just this juggernaut championship type of program. So there's a lot of pressure and expectation on Winston-Salem State. So this is at Winston-Salem. Listen, if Winston-Salem is who they think they are, they should win this game. They need to. Well, the coach, he needs to win this game. Just he needs this win for sure. So right there, Virginia State drops to 1-2. But the schedule does not get any easier. Look at this stretch right here. At Norfolk State, then at Winston-Salem, then right after that, at Fayetteville. Oh, man. At Fayetteville. I don't think Fayetteville State is going to dominate because there's no more divisions, right? So I don't think Fayetteville State is going to dominate the South like they have done in recent years. But I do think Fayetteville State can win this game at home. I do think that. So now you have 3 straight losses. Then they host Johnson C. Smith. Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again. It's possible that I am overrating Johnson C. Smith. That is possible, right? However, I don't think that I am, but I could be. But with that being said, I'm going to take Johnson C. Smith to win this game at Virginia State. Because once again, I think Virginia State's window is closed. I think they lost a lot of guys and they missed the golden opportunity to go after a championship, right? So it is what it is. And then, of course, listen, they've beaten us 2 years in a row in embarrassing fashion. But if we have the roster that I believe we have, and they have what I think that they have, we are going to win at home versus Virginia State. So just think about that. Virginia State, I'm saying that at a certain point in the season, Virginia State will lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight games. Obviously, could they beat us? They could. They better not, but they could. Could they beat Fayetteville State? They could. I think they could win that game. Could they beat Johnson C. Smith at home? They could. Especially if Johnson C. Smith does what he did last year, where out of nowhere they just forget how to play offense. So these are some of these games they could win. I'm just, I don't think that they will. So I think it's highly on the table that early on in the season, Virginia State goes on the 5-game losing streak. But relief is in sight because after that 5-game stretch, they have ECSU, who will be better, but they still can't lose this game. That's a win. They have Bluefield for homecoming. Come on now. That's another win. They have Lincoln for senior day. Come on now. That's another win. And then this last one right here at Virginia Union. I'm going to be real with y'all. I think Virginia State's going to win this rivalry game this year. Why? I don't really have a good reason as to why. It's just a feeling. I see both of these teams up close every year. Saw them in the championship game. So forth and so on. I just believe, for whatever reason, Virginia State's going to win this rivalry game this year. I just do. Obviously, I could be wrong, but I think they'll win the game. So, recap. They beat Barton at Barton. It gets ugly at Norfolk State. They lose at WSSU. They lose at Fayetteville State. They lose at JCSU. Lose at home versus JCSU. They get curb stomped at Bowie. But then they beat Elizabeth City State. They beat Bluefield. They beat Lincoln. They beat Union. So overall, that's going to put them at 5-5 overall and 4-4 in the conference. Like, I know that stretch in the middle is like, man, you just picking against them left and right. Well, it's just how the schedule is set up and where the games are. But if you break it all the way down, ultimately I have them being a decent team, a 500 football team, which honestly I think that they will be based upon, once again, I think the window's closed. It's over with. Looking at the departures and all of those kinds of things, I think Virginia State will be a 500 program this year. So yeah, 5-5 overall, 4-4 in the conference. Think about it. They have to go to Norfolk, to WSSU, to Fayetteville, to Bowie, to Union. If we're just keeping it real, in this year in particular, Virginia State's home games, are games that you would prefer to be on the road. At least just with my logic. My logic says teams that you know you can beat or that you think you should beat, you'd rather play them on the road and have your more tougher opponents at home. Right? Like, I'd rather go to Lincoln than to go to WSSU, right? Because listen, no matter where we play, we should beat Lincoln. So I'd rather them be the road game and have, that's my line of thinking, right? Look at the road games: Norfolk, Winston, Fayetteville, Bowie, Union. The home games: Lincoln, Bluefield, ECSU, and one tough one, Johnson C. Smith. Right? This is one of those years where the games that you need home field advantage, you don't have it. So, like I said, I see Virginia State being 5-5 overall, 4-4 in the conference, championship window closed. Hey, it is what it is. It happens. It would have been nice if they could have taken advantage of the window while it was there, but it happens. So one more time: Bluefield 3-7, Bowie 8-2, ECSU 4-6, FSU 6-4, JCSU 8-2, Lincoln winless, Livingstone 4-6, Shaw 3-7, Union 8-2, State 5-5. Either some point this weekend or on Monday, we'll get to Winston-Salem and we'll close out the conference. Then we'll wait for media day and see how close our predictions are to theirs. And at some point, I do have to do predictions on, first team all CI. I ain't going to do second team and third team, but I'll do predictions on who's first team all CIAA. I'll get to that at some point before media day. So there we go. Let's go ahead and close this bad boy on out.